All right, now to an extremely positive development from this busy news week. Arkansas Governor Sarah Sanders, obviously the rock star of last night. She delivered one of the best rebuttals in history. And Governor Sarah Sanders will join us right here on this program tomorrow for an exclusive interview. Meanwhile, at least one major Democrat was very triggered by those remarks last night, and that's California Governor Gavin Newsom, and he rage tweeted, quote, "While Sarah Huckabee touts public safety, here is what she skips over. Arkansas has one of the highest murder rates in the nation." We'll see. Well, see, she's only been on the job, Gavin, a couple of weeks. And by the way, Gavin, you probably shouldn't be throwing stones from your glass house, because your state of California, you lead the country in people exiting your state, running away from your state. People are leaving in droves. The population is in a massive decline. The state also, your state leads the country in homelessness, the cost of living, taxes, open-air drug markets, government regulation. And you said this in 2008, that you had a plan to fix it all, Gavin. What happened to your plan? Take a look.
We believe fundamentally that food solves hunger, that shelters solve sleep, and that housing solves homelessness. And if we're going to solve the problem of those that are out on the streets that we define as homeless, we better solve the housing problem if we're going to have an impact. And that's why we established this framework, what we call a 10-year plan to end chronic homelessness in San Francisco.
Yeah, your 10-year plan failed, 15 years later. Anyway, Gavin Newsom has done such a terrible job in California. Voters forced him to beg for his job in a recall election. Pretty humiliating. Here now with more. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. What do you make it? Here's Sarah Sanders has been on the job a month. She gave a great speech last night. Is Gavin Newsom that intimidated by 1 month of Sarah Sanders being governor?
Well, I think that Sarah just poked at something that's got to bother Gavin Newsom, which is that he is the governor of what was once one of the most beautiful and prosperous states in the union, and he's allowed certain places in that state to become like a third world country. Sean, I take no pleasure in saying this as Ohio's senator, but you go to Los Angeles, you go to San Francisco. These are places that used to be the center of world prosperity, and now you have open-air drug markets, homeless tent cities as far as the eye can see. So this guy needs to maybe look in the mirror and recognize that his complete failure to focus on public safety is the problem. The fact that Joe Biden is taking those policies nationwide, which is why we see a rising murder rate all across our country, that's the problem. The problem is not Sarah Huckabee Sanders pointing out that average Americans, we just want public safety.
Let me get your reaction to last night's State of the Union address and your reaction to the story we're covering tonight about the FBI in touch with big tech companies trying to influence them, even though they themselves had the Hunter Biden laptop that they had every opportunity to authenticate.
Well, Sean, this was my first State of the Union address, so it was pretty crazy to watch the President of the United States tell so many whoppers. I guess my reaction to it, Sean, is he was a guy who was taking a victory lap about an economy that's still mired in inflation, where a lot of businesses are struggling and a lot of families are struggling to make ends meet. It's completely preposterous. On this FBI story, we cannot say this enough, that the leadership of the FBI working with big tech directly interfered in the 2020 election. There are independent analyses, Sean, that suggest that the censorship of the Hunter Biden laptop story cost Donald Trump millions of votes all across the country. That is the election integrity issue that we should be focusing on. And the fact that we're not shows that so many Democrats don't actually care about our so-called democratic institutions.
JD, don't let that swamp eat you up. It changes a lot of people. I've been doing this a long time. I've seen the change. Don't let it happen to you. You're doing great so far. All right, JD Vance, thanks for being with us. Straight ahead, Marjorie Taylor Greene called out Biden's lies at last night's State of the Union. The left didn't really like it too much. Oh, it's getting interesting. Straight ahead. She'll join us.